Oh, yeah, on. Good morning. Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. Today is uh, June the 24th of 2023. We are happy to have you here. As usual, help us to share. The Tenora, there was a jingle that we put out this week called the Tenora, means wake up, wake up, wake up. And that video is so timely. That jingle is so timely because we really need to wake up. We need to wake up in so many ways. We need to wake up in our personal lives. You know, you cannot sit down and feel pathetic as if you have nothing to do. There is something for you to do. You can even be done with your phone while you're sitting in your pathetic living room. You can be sending information, those kind of things. So there's something for every one of us to do. So welcome to the program. As usual, help us to share, like, subscribe, and um, hit the notification buttons. The most important thing is sharing, 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 sharing. So as you're watching, you're sharing throughout the time. So welcome. My name is Mona Saga, and I am here in Houston, Texas.
And I am Dr. Ekwi Simon Okube, Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome, our people. We appreciate all of you that are already here. And those just seeing this video for the first time, we appreciate you too. Please help us to share, subscribe, like, and hit notification button on the YouTube channel so that once this any video drops, no matter the algorithm, it will alert you that we are on or that we have dropped a video. So please, this is so important. People need to be enlightened. I was trying to reply to someone that was asking, "Oh, is it talk we'll do?" Yes, part of the talk we need it because that's the enlightenment campaign. We need to mobilize our people. We need to teach our people. An informed society, a society with informed citizens are not easily colonized, are not easily subjugated. So that's why information is very important. Right information, by the way. So please help us to do the needful. We'll join you to share too. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Kwi. I am sharing right now. So give us a few minutes to share and then we can get started. All right, we'll continue to share as we play the videos. Um, all right, welcome, welcome, welcome to the program. I am super excited about today's show. As you can see, the title it says "Stop the Colonial, Stop Promoting the Colonial Brands." And it can come in different brand, right? It can be a name of your nation. It can be the attire that you like to wear. You'll find yourself in Africa with temperature of 1 million degrees, and you're there trying to wear suit. So any brand that is not for our survival, we are not interested whatsoever. So that goes in line with our topic today, which says again, stop promoting the colonial brand. So today we'll call your attention to a matter of utmost importance. Preserving our sovereignty in the face of colonial brand designed to subjugate and perpetuate permanent dominance. This is a call to action to stand firm in safeguarding our autonomy, cultural identity, and economic independence. Through our history, we know that the colonialist has been a force, or colonialism has been a force that sought to strip nations of their sovereignties, imposing foreign control and exploiting local resources to benefit imperial powers. The wounds inflicted by this legacy run deep, affecting the very fabric of our society and leaving lasting scars on our collective consciousness. Currently, most of us are suffering from Stockholm Syndrome. We know that Stockholm Syndrome is a human coping mechanism where people over time develop positive feelings towards their abusers or captors and even begin to defend, promote, and give excuses on their behalf for their inhumane behavior towards them. In our modern era, remnants of this oppressive system persistent in the form of brands that glorify and profit from colonial era. We call ourselves Nigerians when the name Nigeria is a trading name given by the colonialists to sell us and our resources. By promoting this brand, we inadvertently contribute to erasing our own cultural narratives and the subordination of our sovereignty. So, to continue to promote this brand, the political bandits that we have everywhere in Africa, they are busy defending and upholding their colonial masters' invention and criminal enterprise of the country. They have refused, in our case, the case of Nigeria, they have refused to look into the dark history of the vampire country called Nigeria. Instead, they believe the distorted stories of their colonial masters and promote this brand name that is killing our people. So, our people, the time has come for us to reclaim our identity and assert our right to self-determination. We must reject the brands that symbolizes subjugation and dominance and instead embrace those that empower us, celebrate our heritage, and contribute to our collective prosperity. By doing so, we send a powerful message to the world. So join us today as we expose ways you can stop promoting the colonial brand and embrace the only plan that puts us in a place to retrieve the sovereignty and the great potentials of our people from this crippling and poverty disseminating Islamic Caliphate Constitution, 1999 edition, we know. And how do we get that done? We can get it done through multi regional referendums as demanded in the NINA's constitutional force majeure for self determination. So I'm going to pull up the first video of the day while my sister add to the
Thank you so much for that powerful introduction. We have to begin to think straight. It's okay to be someone that, oh, you're loving, you like welcoming people, your home. But when you see that the people you're welcoming are serpents, it's time for you now to begin to rewrite your thoughts. Like, what have I been doing? What am I doing to my people? You can't be promoting the same brand that have kept your people under subjugation for centuries. That is not okay. I will keep quiet so that we'll play the video and listen to this man. Oh, sorry, before you play, you see, you listen and see that this man, even their own people, have agreed. They know because we told you that everybody is not evil. Everybody is not a colonialist. Everybody is not a racist. Their own people, their own children, their people know how evil their system is and what they have been doing. And they're voicing it out. How is it that the people in their midst are voicing it and saying then we that are being dominated, being colonized, will be the one pushing the brand. Doesn't make sense.
It does not make
It's
sense.
like when the team went to Congress in US in the US Congress here, Nina's team. They were asking them, how is it that what of the Nigerians, the so-called Nigerians that are living, especially the southern parts, that are living in US, what are they doing about this issue? Are they not aware? Why are they here just doing parties and all that? What they're doing, like, it's Stockholm syndrome, like my sister said. So please go ahead with the video. Thank you.
5 different countries in Africa. I've lived in Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Morocco, and Nigeria. I've also traveled extensively in South Africa, Zimbabwe, Namibia, and Egypt. Never once in all my years of living or traveling on the African continent have I been mistreated in any way because of my ethnicity, because of my skin color. And this is in spite of the fact that I come from a country who are guilty for some of the worst colonial crimes ever inflicted throughout human history. That's right, I was born in Great Britain. And without doubt, the British and the French committed the greatest atrocities across the continent of Africa. The Belgians have a good claim for the greatest atrocity in their treatment of the Congolese, but if one looks at it as an entity and the number of countries that were invaded by the British and French colonialists, one will see that they are the worst protagonists. Despite this, and despite the behavior of my ancestors, I have never been mistreated. In fact, I have been welcomed warmly in all of the countries I have lived in or visited. And when in Africa, I don't cocoon myself in some enclave dome which is inhabited by people who like to refer to themselves as expats. I hate that term. But no, I integrate as much as possible within local society. I will go to a shebeen. I will go to any compound and experience life as it is for people in the country where I am based. So whether that's in the village, whether it's in the township, whether it's in the local bar, I will integrate, I will mix, and I am always made welcome. Now contrast that with the way many Africans are treated when they choose to live in the United Kingdom or France or other parts of Europe. The difference is incredible. The everyday racism experienced by African people on the European continent is a crime against humanity. Now, there are different types of racism. The most obvious is the day-to-day experience that an African will have whilst living in parts of Europe. The name calling, the staring, the subtle discrimination. And for many Africans, they will just brush it off because it is so common that they just get used to it, sadly. Worse, though, is the institutional and structural racism that Africans have to abide with. The restrictions on their movements, the fact that most passports emulating from the African continent will only allow Africans to travel visa free to a handful of countries. And most of those will be other African countries or countries in the Caribbean. And moreover, the difficulty that Africans have finding work in Europe is unimaginable. People who are qualified as doctors, accountants, lawyers, university lecturers, nurses, teachers do not have their qualifications and experiences recognized by most European countries. I know many people from Africa working in various parts of Europe as security guards or as care assistants when back home they had highly skilled professional jobs. But that experience is rarely recognized when they come to Europe unless they come as part of a transfer with an existing company. But if they come because they've migrated to Europe, their chances of accessing the sort of job which they are eminently capable of is slim. Now, if a black person was making this video, they would be quickly dismissed. They'd be dismissed as having an axe to grind or always trying to find problems. And again, that's part of racism. The fact that I can speak because of my white privilege means that I have a duty to do so, not because I'm married to an African woman or because I have many African friends, but because I like to think I'm a decent human being who appreciates the value in every person on our planet.
Interesting. Appreciating the value of every person on the planet. Don't you think the world would have been a better place if every person on this planet is appreciated and their abilities and capabilities are fully maximized? Don't you think the world would have been a better place rather than subjugating some group of people and then having non-entities to be in charge? That's why everyone is suffering. All the problems in the whole world, I'll tell you, yes, they are man-made, created by humans, and can be taken care of just like this if people would just step aside and stop subjugating, colonizing, and oppressing other people. We are all on this planet, and we should contribute to how this planet exists and how it's taken care of. Some people should not be feeling superior over others, especially when they're not even superior. They are not superior in critical thinking. They are not superior in analyzing problems. They are not superior in facing challenges. They are not even superior in being strong and dealing with issues.
They are superior though in criminality though.
Oh, okay. I give that to them.
Yeah, you forgot that part.
I give that to them because they are Hazrukaime, criminality, bangam. Yes, barbarism. That's what they can do. Wickedness. That's what they can do very well. Give it to them.
With a constitution you could describe as the Leviathan. I'm sure some of us saw the video of the Irish woman, Emma Stack. I think we should just look at it for 1 minute.
So I believe that what you are about to see in Nigeria is a whirlwind of God who is going to start to discredit your political system. Within the next 10 months, the Lord says that your political leaders will be exposed and discredited. And the Lord says he will discredit their morality. He will discredit their integrity. He will discredit their financial dealings. He will discredit their lifestyle choices. And he says, watch as I bring a sustained humiliation to the system of leadership within this nation. And the Lord says, I will agitate and convulse and shake and show my power, for I am going to bring a chaos war where I whirlwind them out of their seats. But the Lord says, you have 10 months, because the Lord says, if I come with a discrediting Nahum chapter 1 whirlwind, you must have dealt with Leviathan, or Leviathan will retake back the leadership of Nigeria, but you know it is 7 times worse at that point.
We see that Going back to the broadcast we titled Nigeria, a pyramid of evil. We were talking about the hierarchy of demons headquartered in the British Crown, working with the caliphate, the Fulani, in joint venture, imposing their will, supervening everything by way of the constitution of Nigeria, which then produces the government and the governance we see. And we are at the bottom of that pyramid, at the receiving end of this hierarchy of demons. That 1999 constitution, as far as the calamity called Nigeria is concerned, that 1999 constitution is the Leviathan that Emma Stark was talking about in February of 2022. The 1999 constitution is the personification of that overwhelming demon, that overwhelming principality that is in charge of this darkness, holding down the black man, because that's what Nigeria is doing. Nigeria has become the biggest liability to the black man. And it is this constitutional arrangement, now in the 1999 edition, that is responsible. So anybody talking about lesser devil, look at what the person is saying. He's saying that this lesser devil will go on our behalf against the will of the demons that set up the game. That lesser devil, the political party that subscribes to that constitution, is already at the table of that demonic coven. Anybody who is willing to swear to defend and uphold that constitution, you may think is a lesser devil, may even be a bigger devil, because the people who set up the coven already have their marching orders for what the one you call lesser devil will do. There's no difference between any of the devils that, since we all agree, is devil. Why can't we do away with the coven? Why can't we do away with the devil itself, other than hoping to work with the one we describe as lesser devil? There's no lesser devil anywhere. It is that constitution that will be used to govern if this election goes on under that constitution. Let us be very clear about that. We already heard about the interrogatories in which we listed all of the things that will not change if elections proceed under the 1999 constitution. And since all the political parties in Nigeria subscribe to that constitution, that is the coven of the devil. So it doesn't matter whether it is Devil Tinubu or Devil Atiku or Devil Obi. It is that constitution is the Leviathan itself. And anybody who not only subscribe to that constitution, but is going to an election in which the winner, whether it is A or B or C, the winner will have to swear to defend, uphold, and govern by that the Leviathan. Let us for once pull back and apply reason, apply logic. Where do we go with all of this? Is it not an option for us to, oust, for us to terminate, for us to wind up that coven, for us to take down that demon? That is what Ninas has spent the last 22 years trying to, and we've succeeded. The enemy that is being defeated, the enemy that's been holding us down by virtue of that constitutional imposition of 1999, is the one struggling to find a lifeline. All of those who are going to election now, particularly the P2B and the Labour Party, all of them are the ones giving that enemy a lifeline to reinfuse some kind of life back into the constitution that we have defeated. So they are not on our side. Anybody who is on the side of that constitution is on the side of the devil. The church leaders in Nigeria should hear this. Anybody going to election under the 1999 constitution is firmly, very firmly on the side of darkness in this matter, on the side of falsehood in this matter, on the side of the enemy in this matter. The only thing that will be on our side, the only person that will be on our side is the one that rejects that constitution and therefore rejects further national election under it. Let nobody make any mistakes, because it doesn't matter who among the three parties will be declared winner. We end up in exactly the same ditch. That constitution, that devil is in charge.
Yep, that particular devil is in charge. It does not matter who wins the election. Ihe kanebe na kanebe. We will be running in circles. So we are promoting a brand that is killing us. We are promoting a brand that has not done us any good. You know, as old as we are, none of us can ever point out one thing good about Nigeria. Everything is worse than what it was before. Every day it's getting worse. And like our sister Emma Stark told us, that is going to get 10 times worse because folks are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're down and out. When you have children that you've given birth to, you're down and out. I will pull up the PowerPoint for the day. Let me take this out. You can go ahead.
While my sister pulls up the slide, so I want you to continue to share, please. Like, subscribe, share to your church groups, to your pastors that led you into this dungeon. Pastors that said you should go into a battle where AK-47 is what they're coming with. You should go with plastic or PVC. Get your PVC. Where did they land you? Where are you? Where have you got yourself? Now you're crying, you're wailing, and your pastors are done. They have kept quiet. They're now silent. Suddenly, they're mute. When the demons are making threats, your pastors are mute. They cannot say anything. But I'm waiting for you. When you're ready, I'll stop.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that you see why we're telling you that this is not the time of hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Let us be praying. No. This is a time of critical thinking. What you have been doing for years, has it been working for you? I like it when you go to therapists and they tell you, so how do you feel? When you start telling them all the things, they say, how do you feel? They say, has it been working for you? What you have been doing for years. You throw tantrum, you get emotional, you do this.
You curse people out and you
curse them out. Hey, God punish you. Hey, you will die. You will die. Are you seeing them die? Are you seeing anything happen to them? Are they not waxing strong from, like, even when they're 80, it's as if they're just 40? Why are people dying? It's only a mad person that continues to repeat things that will not give you the expected results, hoping to get the expected results. It's time to listen to what Ninas have been saying for over 23 years and begin to understand where we are going with this proposition. Please go ahead.
All right. So I love our topic today, which is stop promoting the colonial brand. And in this situation, we are referring to the names of nations, like the one called Nigeria. Stop promoting Nigeria. Stop identifying yourself as a Nigerian. Because when you do that, people know that you're sold, right? It's like someone that you're doing an experiment for. And the person is actually, showing you that the experiment is working. When you have changed your name now from Chupuma to Chupde, because you don't even want to answer your indigenous names anymore. So we must stop promoting the colonial brands. We do recognize that we live in an estate of Usman and Fodio. We'll constantly remind you guys of that every day, because until you until you appreciate where you live, then we can begin to take the steps to get us out of that estate that we don't even want. It was imposed on us. So until we can appreciate the magnitude of living in Osman Danfodio estate, we have not begun the journey. So we cannot move forward without again reminding you that you live in their estate. That's why their children are, waxing good, and you're running away and dying in the Mediterranean Sea. This past week, 700 people drowned. Of course, it's not in the media, right? because it's a bunch of brown people that died, so nobody will promote it. But 700 people died because they were living the comfort of their own home, or should I say the hell, because somebody has turned their comfort of their own home into hell now, that they have to leave it in order to go and be eaten by shark. What a tragedy. So today we are going to look at our objectives, which is Westernization and Islamization project. These two things goes hand to hand. These are business partners. They choose one side to Westernize, and then they choose the other one to Islamize. And then they will turn into nuclear weapons, and Africans will be dying like flies. We're also going to look at post-genocide and colonialism survival strategy. We know what they did, and things that have been done since the genocide. And then we'll also look at the 5-point agenda, the summary. Like we said, we cannot begin or end the show without you knowing that you live in an estate and without you knowing what that 5-point agenda is, because we do not want you to go around and be identifying like, oh, I know what Ninas is doing, when you do not know those 5-point agendas. It's up to you to take pictures so that you will know and educate yourself. Because when you finish running around in circles, you will come back to it. It's there waiting for you. And then we'll look at the spotlights on the wisdom of our ancestors, because we are recognizing who we are. We are the reflection of our ancestors. So we should not be embarrassed of who we are. I don't know about you, I'm not. If my ancestors is part of me, that means they must have to be a great person, because I'm a great person. Or should I say great people? So I'm a great person. So I know they are wearing any kind of rah person, how will greed person, and that's where my DNA comes from. So we stand gidigba with it. So today we'll be looking at the mystery of human spirit. So let's look at the Westernization and Islamization project. Like I mentioned earlier, they are business partners, right? Because it's all about you, to put you down while they are waxing fine. We will have the same oil that they have. They will be living well. They will be using everybody else as their slaves. Nobody will say anything. But you, what has your oil and your gas gotten you? Your land has been destroyed. You can even hang your white clothes outside without turning it black. So a lot of things has been done wrong, and nobody is asking the correct question. Why does Dubai has oil and they're doing fine, and Kuwait? And then when you go to Africa, the same resources, even more, people are living in abject poverty. We know that Westernization is not civilization. Like, let's understand that, because for years we got confused with those two terms. That Westernization is not civilization. Please continue to help us to share and like, continue to hit the like button. It actually helps from the blockage that they do for people not to see the video, because they don't want you to know any better. They don't want you to know any better. They want you to be marinating in ignorance so that they can continue to steal our resources, and it will never benefit us. So we know that Westernization is not civilization, because how can savages and barbaric people bring us through civilization? Just check good in here. Any kind of way. I was listening to a show today, and they're saying that the highest number of human trafficking is happening here in the US, the land of free. The land of free and the land of the brave. The highest number of, not even human, because if we're saying human, it will look like we're talking about adult. Child trafficking, child trafficking is happening here by here with all the so-called laws that we have. Are we talking about the spirituality, their so-called religion that they have brought to us? You can be living in somewhere in Omaya, you'll be promoting Roman Catholic. You'll be living somewhere in Ugwa, hungry. You'll be talking about Mecca. The only place that the headquarters of all these things are, they are superior countries, they call themselves. For you to be a Catholic, the headquarters is in Italy, right? Because that's the Jesus. God is always somewhere in the Western world. It doesn't belong in Africa. Oh, I forgot, our God is devil. So that's why it's burning down there. And then when you look at the Anglican part of it, they are in England, right? Because that's the only place. It has to come from a foreign God. We don't have our own God in our own place. Everything is foreign. Then when you look at the so-called Islamization, it's in Mecca. The Arabs are the one enjoying it. How come it cannot be in Ugwa also that they're going for Mecca? So you can see We're promoting brands. We will steal resources from our communities. We will refuse to pay teachers. We will refuse to do any sort of things that we're supposed to do. We will refuse to even empower our children, or for us to get some money to go to Mecca for our annual Ramadan, right? You can see somebody has been punked. You've been punked to think that your environment, in order for you to get to the highest level of spirituality, you have to go to their own side in order for you to make that full connection with God. Talk about promoting brands. Are we talking about our language, right? So now we are not comfortable with who we are. Like I said earlier, people have gone far as to changing their names so they can sound a little bit Western. In that case, they think the opportunity will be increased. Now, even I ran into a medical doctor here at some point,
Mhm.
answering a Russian name.
Okay.
He said, though, I
Hmm.
went in there thinking I was seeing a Russian guy. He said, sister, I don't want to die you. I just change everything. Russia. So it's matter everything will be wara wara.
Even at home, our people, Ndi Igbo, they change their name to Musa Ibrahim for them to get contracts just
Oh,
for survival. Those
oh.
that Emeka start answering Mekus just to get contracts, get food, is terrible. Talk about identity crisis.
Talk about identity crisis, my sister. Talk about identity crisis.
Ah,
And then are we talking about the name of the country, the so-called Nigeria that we are promoting? I'm telling you, once you say that you're from Nigeria, especially those older white people, they look at you, they're like, okay, this one is sold for sure. If you tell them that you're from Igbo nation, you're from Yoruba nation, they will look at you, they will show. The only reaction that I get from them is that they are quiet.
yes. And
Very
then some of them
quiet.
want to know more. Some of them want to know more.
Yes. Yes. Some of them want to know more. No, Sister, a lot of them, the older ones know who we are. So it surprises the younger ones that want to know more. But the older ones, when you tell them, it almost seems like, oh, this person did not get the medication that we were giving for
Yes.
resuscitation.
Yeah. And
Like,
how
eh?
BC did not get to her.
Yeah, like
Immunization did not get to her.
exactly. That's the reaction you get. Like, what the hell? This young one here, she didn't get, they didn't medicate her. What's going on? So they are very quiet. It's the younger ones that will say, oh, what is going on? Tell me. Because they, even here, they don't know. A lot of them don't know who their mayor is. They don't even know that the capital of the state. A lot, like they have left the people ignorant and not aware of things going on. People are killing people because of the name Biafra that you don't even know. Mona Biaka on Afa. You don't know what that even means.
No.
And you're there doing all manner of salt,
It's from
destroying
them.
your own
It's
land.
Portuguese now. I gave them bearing name that your colonial masters gave to you.
And you're killing your people over it.
Over it. Mm.
Hmm? And we're talking about national identity. The colonial identity replaced over 350 ethnic, indigenous, God given identities. 350. And this is just back home. Oh. We're not talking about other places that they have done this. And then they claim that they brought us politics and their colonialism, which we know is all about fraud and lies in the name of democracy. When you look at the democracy they are practicing here, is nothing bagam compared to Ihanem and all. They are still, because now we know it's all out in the open. They are stealing, but they are not out on the street doing it. But in our place, they're like, they're doing it with impunity. They're doing it with guns. Instead of having politicians, what we have is political bandits. They are all bandits. We know that people are not even capable of taking care of a wife and two children. They want to take care of a community. Check, go and see how that will work. You're not able to take care of a wife and two children, but you want to be a governor and take care of a community. Is that even possible? And then we look at their entertainment and their media. Everything that they promote is lies and lies and lies. They're doing everything for you to see them as superior. Everything. They went back as far as when they were doing the Shaka Zulu movie, that there's an audio that came out, how they came up and said they're going to change the narrative to make people believe that Shaka Zulu sold out the people for Miro and what else did they give him? Was it Miro and Jane or something to that effect? So that when you look at yourself, imagine your father selling you, you will feel worthless, right? All those things are part of their propagandas. all those things that they've been doing through their media. They realize the power of media. They're all they are all into media. And they're the one that decide what you see and what you don't hear. And people will fight over things that they've seen in media that is not even true. There is a story right now going on that Obama's wife is a guy, used to be a guy, and transformed it. She's a transgender. And people are believing it, arguing over it. So that's the power of media. We know what they did. They understood that power and they used it against us. And that's why we must wake up and stop promoting their brands. Are we talking about their culture and their tradition that they used to replace the indigenous cultures and traditions? I remember the last time I went home, they said, "Oh, in the church has stopped masquerade dance that make people excited during the day. Just everywhere look like there's funeral going on. They just shut it down for in the church."
That keeps our youths engaged. Why wouldn't they now go into Miri and every other thing?
I know. Why would they
All
not?
our culture and tradition, there's a reason why such things are allowed. Here they do carnivals and all that.
Mm-hmm.
To control how it is expressed and how they do certain things, but not to render everybody useless, render the children like nothing to the youth, nothing to engage them, get them engaged. And then tomorrow, if they go into vices and all that, you start wondering how it happened. Duh.
It's sad. It's like even the children, when I took them home, the first two times they went, they were able to see it. And only for them to go back and they say, "Oh, they don't do it until the 28th." And we have to leave by the 28th or something because they are stopping it for Christmas. Which Christmas? The one that their sun god did whatever they did and they're worshiping sun god. Or you know, talk about promoting brands that you know nothing about. We've already mentioned the three-piece suit that you're wearing for you to look nice. When you look nice in our attire, that's supposed to cover your stomach, especially if you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm? You go and put your stuff yourself in the suit. I forgot how to work children because you're trying to look cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
When you have our own way that it will cover up certain things and you look decent. And then they've given us a lot. When you talk about brands, their food, everything is processed. You make a tidy Henry, and when you eat their food within 3 months, you will be looking to see. You can't even find yourself. You wouldn't even recognize yourself. I know some of our brothers that went home to marry a skinny wife, only for the skinny wife to come here and became bigger than the house and the children and the husband. Because that food is very dangerous. Things that you will never see before.
Very, very.
Then we're looking at Indomie that we know that is poison. People are feeding it to their children. Oh, saying, "Oh, if you tell them not to give," they say, "Okay, but if I get if I get it." When we were growing up, we never came in contact with Indomie how or whatever they call it.
No. And we ate.
Never.
And we ate well.
And we
Developed
ate well
sense.
and developed sense. And we are feeding our children poison. Any how they here is chemicalized.
Yes. Poison.
Replace everything that we have, all our local food items, they replace it with their chemicals.
We're the only ones that human beings that give their children, their young one, the milk from animal. It's only human beings that do that.
It's
After
only
you're surprised that your children are behaving like goats and cows.
my dear, there's damn cow and go be like, these people are they this stupid? Yeah, that's a good one, Sister Queen. Then you'll be surprised that the children are behaving like cow when you, instead of breastfeeding, now you're giving them a cow milk because you want your breast to be standing up when that's not what it's there for. These people destroyed local economies, and there's economic sabotage everywhere. They made it so impossible where if there's a war in Ukraine, you can't even feed anymore in Africa because they want you to depend on them. They want to be able to remote control you with their cell phone. Anything that they do, if they decide if you leave, you leave. If they decide if you die, you die. And then we look at the issue of marriage and family. We know what is going on here. It's okay. If you don't decide here today that you want to start wearing your daughter's lipstick, you go for it. You decide there now that you want to go and start using tampons that you don't even know what it is. You go and take one from your daughter's room, creating all kinds of mental illnesses and identity crisis. People don't know who they are. Unstable people are encouraged to go and mutilate themselves. People that are going through it are encouraged to go and do things that is irreversible. And then you look at the families, we have sons with no father to father them. We have daughters with no father to look after them. Our daughters are easily becoming prostitutes, things that you will never hear before. If you work a get high before you go and call your mother, that guy is in big trouble. Now we have hotels all over our land promoting prostitution. Because yeah, when you're building hotels where there is no industries, what are you promoting? I know you want to make money. Basically, all you're saying, I don't give a damn. My children are here. They are doctors. They are lawyers. I can go there and build one so that I can make my own money. And we have
Please.
told you guys in this show that we cannot equate every part of our life to money, 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 money,
No,
money.
no, no. Build factories for our youths. Stop building hotels for our youths. The politicians, stop building hotels in our land. Ozugozien, is enough. The hotels are okay. Build factories and get the youths employed. Please go ahead.
It's sad. They've taken away dignities. Every dignities that we have as human beings, they've taken it all away because everything has to be artificial and unnatural. And in the midst of this, we have so much diseases. I spoke to a doctor that runs a hospital somewhere in Afibo this past week, and he was telling me how our young brothers, especially our young brothers, are just having a lot of strokes, a lot, dying of strokes. These are the result of indomine because that thing is so high in sodium.
Yeah.
Imagine if you are hypertensive and you're eating indomie because there's no food in the house. So we must do everything that we can to stop promoting all colonial brands, all of them. It's not for us.
Some of those things are plastics. They are not like foreign rice and domi. Those things are plastic that we processed. Your body cannot digest them.
Hmm,
Your body cannot digest them.
that's even terrible. When God has blessed us with nature, God has, look at how beautiful this thing looks. God has given us everything that we need to succeed. That okwa that you're eating is high in protein. Okwa is filling, is dense. It has dense ingredient, I mean, dense value in them. That when you eat them, you may go a whole while without being hungry. We have to be bringing back our local foods, whatever that it is, and leave this Americanized, westernized. I almost say it's also and also a willing tool. That's what it is. They're using it to turn us everybody into a willing tool. When you're eating all these things that is made overseas, there's nothing wrong with ogiri. We cook soup here with ogiri. I have a friend yesterday that was begging me in America. She carried to my office and got on her knees and said, "Please let me have some okra soup." Okra soup with ogiri. I brought it to the office yesterday. She warmed it up in the break room. Everybody was like, what is that? When they looked at it, they were like, oh, can I have some? So we are not embarrassed of what we do, what we eat. We're not embarrassed of who we are. They know that when they taste the okra soup and taste the hamburger, they can tell which one is full of nature, which one is organic versus the one that will take you to cancer center tomorrow. Please, let us enjoy what God has given us. Our Africa is colorful and beautiful. Our Africa is nature, and we should be proud about everything regarding us. We should continue or we should strive to promote our brands. You will be surprised how many people will fall for it. As I'm telling you right now, I have people wanting the African skirts, the Akara skirts. Oh, where can I get some? Especially this summer. Everybody's begging me because I took some to work. They want to wear the same thing. We should not be hiding who we are. Rather, we should abandon the colonial brands.
Please, and Aba people, when you produce these things, put it made in Aba, made in Africa. If you don't want to use any other thing, not you produce something in our name and write it made in Italy, made
I
in
know.
whatever. You're promoting that economy. Promote our own economy. Thank you, Sister Mona. Yes, somebody will say, so what next? In this show, we like saying when we tell you what the problems are, it's okay, this is it. What are we doing? What so much going on the ground? You want to know what is going on so that you'll be part of it. That's the sense of being. That's why we come here. We're not coming here to talk just to talk, like somebody was asking me, okay, is it only talk that we will talk? You don't even understand what we're saying. That's why you're asking me, is it only talk you will talk? We are here giving you instruction every Saturday on what to do. We are here to give you, make you to understand the instruction coming from Nina's secretariat so that you'll be part of the project and see what you need to do. So if you don't understand the instruction, it is not our problem. It's not our fault. The instruction that is going out for you to understand and be part of it, because in your neighborhood, there's so much you can do. In your family, there's so much you can do. Women, Aizurukeme, daughters of truth. Yes, you know yourselves. We are going to go into another move, another phase in the days ahead. So we're preparing. So those of you that are saying, what do you do? Listen very well so that you understand. What is next? Somebody will say. Post-genocide, colonialism, survival strategy. We've had genocide all over the world in some places because these criminals go around killing people for their own selfish interest, for their greed and for exploitation. Some people have come out of genocide, some people have not. It's still going on as we speak in certain places. Colonialism, no, Africa is still colonized. Africa has not come out of colonialism. We are still dealing with that. So we're going to learn from the people that survived genocide, some of the strategies they put in place, and then encourage us to be part of it. Igbo, Ndi Igbo, were killed, over 3.5 million, and about 2 million children starved to death. That is genocide. But they survived it. They did some things. Because some people that don't follow history will say, oh, you're just... No, we are here because our people survived that genocide. If they did not survive it, we wouldn't be here. We are survivors of genocide. Israel, they also had genocide, Holocaust in Germany. They did some things. These people moved and began to do certain things because they saw that some other people wanted to exterminate them completely. So the fact that you see Igbo people all over shows that they did something. So you're not here today to come and teach us what we don't know. The only thing we are saying is for us to think back, remember all the things we did immediately after 1970 that made us that today we are everywhere in the world, not there constituting nuisance, but they're building and developing their economy. Yes, as Igbo, we went all over the world. Today, we are engaged in different communities and countries, contributing positively to their economy. We are only saying that we need to do more because we thought that the war was over. Our people thought that the war was over. We did so many things. We encouraged one another. We did so many things immediately after that genocide that made us that we are here today, that we have taken over the economy of Abuja. Even we are contributing highly in Lagos and every other place all over the world. We did certain things. Go back and see all the things we did. We don't want to say it here on the platform. Go back and see what we did. Go and study before you start broadcasting and start indicting in the Igbo. Know that we did something immediately after that genocide. The only problem is that we thought the war was over. We did not realize that the war wasn't over. And this is why we are not telling
We went to another phase.
Yes, that the war went into another phase. So we are not waking up our people to say, the war is not over. Colonialism is still here. We are still enslaved. So what are we going to do? We need to stop all colonial lies. That's the first thing we need to do. We survived genocide, but we are still colonized. And we need to stop Ndi Igbo and all the ethnic nations in Africa, not even just that Nigeria. You need to stop all colonial lies. Yes, begin to research right now. Break into archives. Go and get all the stupid treaties that they told you that they signed. Go and get them and see what was signed so that you know how your people were sold. They were deceived. We need to stop all colonial lies. We are giving you the strategy, the things that we need to do. Of course, is powered by Nina's. Nina's, all these things we are telling you is not coming from us. We read Nina's materials, and then from there, we are breaking it down for you. Nigeria is British colony and a colonial jail system. It is not giant of Africa anything. It's a
Mm-mm.
lie.
Mm-mm.
Nigeria is not giant of Africa. Nigeria is still British colony, criminal enterprise, colonial jail used to trap ethnic nations. Excuse me. Indigenous ethnic nations. Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. No running water in Nigeria. We are trying to bring out these things for our people. Please excuse me. Let me drink water. Someone, please go ahead.
Right, my dear. So when we talk about the British colony, we want to remind you guys that if we don't wake up and reject that brand, we'll be all be running in circles. Uh,
I'm back.
the running back and forth. Okay, good.
Thank you. So, as we speak, we are not saying things that are not in existence. You are living in Nigeria. You know there's no running water. The roads are horrible, horrible road network. No,
Accident waiting to happen.
exactly. No power supply. Infant mortality is so high. Police force is inhumane. Security, no security. Nigeria, the unemployment rate is one of the worst in the whole world. So how are you giants? So
Giant
we
of
need,
trash can.
exactly. So we need to embrace our reality. Sometimes when we try to engage some people, some politicians, especially because we live in US, they say, we are better. If that's your US, it's not better than Nigeria. Stop. You don't have a running water. I tell people, for you to live comfortably in Nigeria, you have to become local government of yourself. Provide your water, provide your electricity, provide your security, provide everything for yourself. That is not how things are done. So let's face reality so that we understand where we're going. We're not here to argue with you. You are living the reality. If you're not living it in your home, look in your environment. See what the people around you are going through.
Hmm.
If you come to UK or US, is that how the citizens live there? So let's stop lying to ourselves. We need to stop all colonial lies. We need to bring back the true history into school curriculum because they used lies and propaganda to replace history. That's why our children don't know what happened, who did it, when it happened, how it happened. They have no clue because they want to promote ignorance. You know, ignorance promotes fear. So when you are ignorant, you are afraid because you know nothing about your situation. The information will empower you. We need to begin to personalize patronize our local and indigenous products, like my sister has already said, not those of the slave masters. You need to be intentional about it. You wake up in the morning and say, today, I'm going to eat only local things. Because when you eat this local thing, you're promoting the local economy. When you go into the market to buy local fish, vegetable, local okwa, not indomie, local stuff from our local women, our local farmers. Even here, we belong to communities here of farmers. They have their corporation. You buy from them directly. It promotes them. It puts cash in the hands of the people, not the big capitalists. So when you are intentional to go into the market to buy things from those market people, you are giving money into their hands. You're promoting your local economy from your village. When you send to your village, tell them to your village, please go to Mama Nkechi, buy ogili for me, 200 naira, 300 naira from Mama Nkechi in my village and bring it. You are putting cash in Mama Nkechi's hand.
Mm-hmm.
You're empowering the indigenous people. We are telling you of strategies that you don't need to make noise, because some people think it's like coming to freedom fighting is to come on radio and be shouting. No, You need to be conscious of what the war is all about, conscious of the strategy, and conscious of how to be part of it. You don't sleepwalk into freedom. Yes, I'll repeat it. You don't sleepwalk into freedom. You have to be intentional. Mobilize yourself, mobilize your children, mobilize your community, and you move, even when the enemy is there watching. That's why if you read in your Bible, I keep referring to Bible because our people are very religious. They say they are Christians, but the only reason they are in bondage is because they don't read Bible by themselves. Because Psalm 23 says, he sets the table before me in the presence of my enemy. What we're saying is that the enemy's presence should not stop your prosperity. However, you will strategically move the enemy out. Imagine there are some things we are planning now. Imagine if your colonial masters, they bring their products and you're not buying them. Wouldn't they stop bringing it? Isn't it automatic? Will anybody kill you for eating okwa? Will anybody kill you for planting okwa in your village and bringing it, processing it, and selling it? These are some of the little things you could do as individuals so that you be part of this project. There's a bigger work going on, but you at your micro level, there are so many things you're supposed to do. Localize your religion. Yes. God is local. God is not foreign. It is God that created you and put you in that space where you are. That's your indigenous space. God put you there for a reason. Localize your spirituality. Localize your religion. Whether it's church, Christianity, or Islam. Do not allow your religious leaders to keep manipulating and deceiving you and your family members. Stop giving them your money. They are not Levites. They have no right to collect tithes. Yes, your pastors, redeem all those crazy Pentecostal people. They are criminals. They have no right to collect tithes. They are not Levites. They are criminals. They are stealing from the people. The way God structured the tithe system, if it's done properly, there will not be any poor and starving person in the community.
Yep.
Because there's so much poverty in our community today, it shows that the tithe system is not working, and it cannot work because it's not the one that God puts. This one is man-made. So do not allow anybody to deceive you. There's no curse that will come upon you. The curse that will come upon you is starvation and poverty because you have given your money to criminals, and there's no blessing for that. Go back to your positive culture and tradition. Yes, and review the negative ones. We know there's some negative culture in some communities, not everywhere in Africa. There are some that do not meet human rights standard. Go and review those ones. Go back to your culture. Go back to your tradition, because that's who you are. That is your identity. You bear the name, you eat it. That is your identity. Don't allow anybody to lie to you. Give your children your local names. These names have meaning, and in our culture, it comes with certain energy that propels the child into her destiny or his destiny. These are not mere words. They are pronunciation of destinies. That's why we do not joke with our local names. Don't throw away your local names. Start answering flower. Millipede. Mirinda.
Champagne.
Linda.
Mercedes.
Little stomach. Little snake. Stop that. You're destroying the destiny of your children. Empower your children with prophetic names, words that produce great destiny. Embrace your indigenous God-given heritage and ethnic identity. There's a reason why you are African. There's a reason why you're Yoruba. There's a reason why you're Igbo, Ijo. There's a reason why you're in that land. It is where God planted you. You are indigenous to that land. Embrace your identity. Embrace your ethnicity. Embrace who you are so that you have a stability that God wants you to have. Do not listen to the colonial masters. Oh, I don't want to be ethnic. I don't want to be tribalic. I don't want to be what? No, stop that nonsense. The white man is tribalic.
In all their ways, in all their ways.
The white man is tribalistic in all his ways. He said, I'm an Englishman. They are so proud and whatever. I'm an American. So why will you come to your own? Somebody will tell you, no. If you say you're Yoruba, that means you're tribalistic. If you say you're Igbo, that means you're tribalistic. No, we're only saying embrace who you are, but do not suppress others. Respect others so that we have mutual respect. I am an Igbo woman. I was born an Igbo woman, and I will continue to be an Igbo woman. However, I respect my Yoruba neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I respect my Ijo neighbors. I respect the Hausa neighbors. Let's embrace ourselves. Even if you want to not copy one another, it will be organic and natural. Not anybody imposing their way on other people. It's so unhealthy. Get ready to uproot, tear down, destroy, and overthrow all colonial structures, lies, monuments, anything that reminds you of colonialism. It needs to go. The one that Ninas is tackling, the main one, the Leviathan, is the 1999 Constitution and the fake federation that they say you have in Nigeria. Like we have told you, a federation is a union of constitutions. You don't use a unitary constitution to run a federation. That is a lie. That is fake. We don't care who you're voting or who you're selecting or all those things, whether it's a Tif Tinubu or Tif Obi or Tif Atiku, or that we don't care about that. We're talking about system. We're talking about system, that the system in Nigeria is stifling the people, the indigenous peoples, and they will never realize their great potentials because they're shackled into one unitary system. Meanwhile, we are diverse. There's a reason why we are diverse. There's a reason. There's a reason why we see things the way we see them. Even in your family, there's diversity. Amongst your children, there are diversities. If you now make every child to become the other one, it will not work. There will be chaos in your home. So 1999 Constitution and the fake federation, it's colonial monument that needs to go down. We will uproot it. We will tear it down. We will destroy it through Nina's template for self-determination. The work is going on. You just need to understand it so that you'll be part of it. I was talking to one man of God. He was like, okay, people will be doing the one you're doing and let's be doing the one we are doing. I said, so far we understand each other. That not that when we are doing one, you people are doing it because you are so ignorant. Mobilize your people for the multi-regional referendums. Yes, it's going to come. Multi-regional referendum, say multi-regional, and it's not going to be conducted by Nigeria. It's not going to be conducted through or voted through the Nigerian fake PVC. No, it's not. It's the indigenous peoples, the original owners of the land, the people that the colonial masters stole their lands and resources from. They are still there. They are not extinct. All of them are there and they are in their territories, and they're the ones that will get their sovereignty and decide how they want to live, who they want to live with, and how they want to manage their lives going forward. It is their right. That's the international standard. It is the right of the indigenous peoples to decide how they want to live, who they will allow in their space, whether they're going to allow criminals, whether they're going to allow bandits, whether they're going to allow kidnappers, whether they're going to allow people that are cutting people's heads, slicing throats of children and babies and pregnant women. It will be their own decision, not the decision of some crazy lunatic person at Aso Rock. It's the people that will make that decision. That's why it's called democracy. People, democracy. Government of the people, by the people, then for the people. It's only when the government is of the people that there will be dividend for democracy, for the people. Prepare for the union renegotiation and union reconstruction, because that is where we're going. Everything is done through a process. The process is in place and we're working the process. As you share, like, subscribe, you are being part of the process. And then as you sit down to study these things we're saying and understanding it, you become an effective tool for your people. Because the way Nina broke it down, each block, you have to understand what they need to do to be free. If you decide not to do your homework, your people will continue to suffer. Other people might be liberated before you. It will not be the fault of anyone. It will be your own fault because you failed to listen to instruction towards that is coming for your self-determination. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, the 5 point agenda summary. This the first one is an acknowledgement of grave constitutional grievances raised in union dispute. The second one is an express commitment to decommissioning the imposed 1999 unitary constitution. And then an express commitment to share further national elections under this constitution in order to initiate an immediate transitioning process for fresh constitutional protocols. And then the fourth one is an invitation to the constituent peoples of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangements, including mandate timeframe, membership, and ancillary matters. And last but not least, an announcement of a two-band, two-state transitioning process, which shall, in the first stage, feature multi-regional referendums, like my sister told you, to prepare your people, where we will decide to recommit or opt out of the union. And in the second part, these two terms of union as may be dictated by the outcome of the referendums. So take a picture of this. We are still on this. We go nowhere. People are pretending like they are president when other people are saying they are not really their president because he didn't, capture the number of votes needed to for him to be one. So we are seeing things happen in front of us. But don't be surprised when things turns around. It's a matter of you doing what things turn around. It's a matter of you doing what you're supposed to do, and we'll move. If you're not doing anything and thinking no one one at Moninas that is going to do it for you so you can appear with your retirement and your business plan to start building, then you have something else coming for you. So we're going to move to the spotlight on our ancestors. And today, like I mentioned, Sister P is looking at the wisdom. Oh, I'm sorry. This is about the mystery of a human spirit. Please take away.
Thank you, my sister. Yes, we want to look, like when we do this, that's what we call it spotlight. We're not giving detailed teaching on it. We are only just pointing one or two things for our people to begin to think and understand what anything to any topic that is all about. Mystery of the human spirit. We say ofunne na amu, mana ofuchi anaghị eke, meaning that parents produce the human body, parents who produce the babies. However, God is one that puts the spirits in each child, on each person. So for those that are saying that, oh, we don't believe in God, parents are the God. No, our ancestors were wiser, even without getting degrees, even without getting medical degrees, even without getting theological degrees, even without anything. They knew what it was all about. Meaning that the children may be born by same parents, but they possess different spirits, different personality, different skills, different behavior, and different destinies. And their life journeys may differ, though they were born by same parents. So parents, please be mindful of this as you raise your children. Be patient as they manifest their different personalities and potentials. Guide and encourage each child to be the best he or she can be according to their God given abilities. Onye na chie, my people will say. That means that each person, each child is going with his own spirit. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. I wanted to give an example. You talk about children being different. My youngest son is the kind of person that you can punish him. He will figure a way to have fun. You ask him to go to the room, he will turn into Michael Jackson in that room and start dancing. He gonna you like, I thought I'm punishing this boy. Then you tell him, oh, okay, I'm not cooking for you. He will call his sister somewhere in another state to order food for him. My dear, full of when if you do this to the sister, they will really suffer. They will be in the room, they will be apologetic, they will be like, it's the end of the world. But this one, my dear, he has something else about his spirit. So it makes perfect sense that we are mindful of our children as we raise them and be able to work with their differences. Thank you so much. So, yeah, we finished early today.
Yep.
Awesome. So please help us to share, like, subscribe, do all those things that we need to do. Every week, Nina's voice has a video that is out there at least once a week. Please take time to watch it and share. It's not just you watching. If you are watching our show, you're not sharing, you are an enemy of progress. I don't know how else to tell you that. So please continue to share this information. We need our people to get the knowledge that we need, right? Because if we say we don't want to be moving forward and they think we are working against them.
Mm-mm.
So that's why we are here constantly educating so that Kunu Marebe Miris Bano Pubo, and then we'll be able to get where we're going sooner. So thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, brothers and sisters. We will see you guys next week by the grace of God. You have a great one.
Bye.